And I'm sitting in the 30th row of a 747 from Dallas to Los Angeles. The captain has signaled our final descent. My seat back has returned to the upright position, my tray table has been stowed, and I am finally going home. Which is when a girdle under my seat buckle tells me that lunch is gearing up for a second appearance. A frantic search teaches me that Delta Airlines apparently doesn't like to restock their seat pockets with sick bags. So I do the only logical thing that I can think of, and MacGyver my Skyhawk catalog into a makeshift haversack. But before I can crease the outside edge, my body betrays me, which means that I'm not sitting there, wearing my stomach acid as a loose tuxedo, while the entire plane, including the really hot girls across the aisle, whisper and gag, necks craned as we make our torturous descent into LAX, and then as the entire jumbo jet deplanes slowly around me. At least the plane didn't crash. Lucky for planes in the first place. You know, if I had thrown up on myself in a covered wagon, some settler would have been all like, hey, we broke a spoke a mile back, and if you don't quit soaking and help push, you might not be able to ford this river before nightfall, in which case you're going to smell mighty good to the grizzlies. Pretty certain of it. So it's lucky that the atmosphere puts planes on its back. Lucky that the air is so thick it bumps against our ears. That's how we hear. Lucky there's so much carbon around. Lucky for granite. You know, granite has done big things for us. Lucky conditions on this planet were perfect for life cocktail to turn a couple of atoms into an amoeba, into a cheetah. Lucky that one monkey finally got his shit together and turned into a dude. I mean, don't forget the vocal cords, the lungs. Lucky the opposable thumbs, the disposable landing glands to make lanolin and lambs, dismantle ham radios and bands, to make videos for jams that are really just witty odes to brands. And lucky for that one reunion on Cape Cod where I finally began to understand my father's side of the family. You know, some say, if you listen close, in those old wooden hallways, you can hear the ghost of Woody Allen groaning at night. Listen. I'm not dead yet, you schmucks. They gather around our dining room table, sharing, showing class, saying things like, Lucky! Lucky! Lucky my ass. You call this lox? Fresh water? Salt water? Neither. You lie. This salmon is so dry, it must be the kind that they catch in the sky. Oh, you want to know about Stephen's health? Well, yes, they removed a tumor. However, that was the cancer's tumor. Yes, cancers can grow their own tumors too, smart guy. Dr. Rubin removed the original cancer. It's now malignant in his skin cell. They couldn't tell his mole because of the vitiligo, so the pigment. He looked like an albino with 3 shoulders. He tried to dye himself back to normal in a bathtub of Coca-Cola, but now he's got dementia and he thinks he's Al Roker. Oh yeah, a shot to Endigoy, but hey, I can't complain. He's better than Roker at forecasting rain. For those of you who have no idea what I just said, that is how Jewish people like to tell a story. For some reason, my grandma always ends hers with, I can't complain. Grandma, you just complained for 45 fucking minutes without breathing or blinking. The nice girl's trying to take our drink order, and if I could get a word in edgewise, I would say lucky the stomach flu, lucky the 2-month itch, I would rather not talk about. Lucky because perfectly healthy should not be considered a neutral state. Perfectly healthy should be considered perpetual full-body euphoria. But this is my father's family, and my complaining about their complaining is both concrete proof that I'm one of them, and an unfair generalization of a proud people. You take my dad. You know, luckily, he never cut a zip gun ricocheted to the face, but if you lean in close, you could see a little blue dimple on his chin from 4th grade, sometime in the 1950s, when he was trying to figure out how the heck they get ink into a ballpoint pen. He accidentally slammed the thick into his jaw, tattooing himself for the rest of his life. And lucky he did, because that wasn't a ballpoint pen at all. It was a flagpole. 10-year-old Paul Norman Watsky was claiming that little patch of skin for himself and has held his ground even as this unfamiliar man creeps up on 70 around him. I could see it in his eyes every time he laughs at one of his own idiotic puns. Every time he laments the overbearing Jewish mother that made him want to tip out of his Manhattan apartment window like a potted plant. And lucky he backed away from the edge, and not lucky just because his reproductive equipment was the genetic key to my eventual awesome existence, but also because smiles are delinquent teenagers. They like to gather in large groups. They leave marks on the walls of your face to tell you of a life well lived. They're hard to get rid of, but once they're gone, you wonder why you pushed them away. You wander into their dusty old rooms at night and sit there holding back tears at the edge of their bed. You see, time is a 1,000,000-mile wooden dock, and every living person is right here, at the very young edge, Practically dangling our toes into the water. Even if you're 100 years old, you're still dangling, and you'll shoot back, "You're damn right I'm dangling." In all the wrong places. And you would be completely missing my point, because I just vomited in my lap in an overbooked jumbo jet, but I still have my feet on the ground. So lucky we're not livestock. Lucky we're programmed to think that babies are cute. Okay? Because I swear to you, otherwise we would ignore them and they would crawl aimlessly in large packs. America is a plump kid in husky overalls and I plan to live off the fat of the land. This country is a big cupcake, straddling two oceans, and lucky it wasn't me and you when someone had to fight and die so we could rot our teeth on the frosting. This planet is made mostly of carbon and Teflon, and someday each one of us slides off it like so much burnt stir fry. There's a lot that goes into a moss-covered rock, and we're lucky that there's so many cool bugs underneath them, and it sucks that we eat a few by mistake at night, but let me tell you, at least we don't crawl into spiders' mouths while we're sleeping. A web of impossible coincidences has crystallized into this moment. Look around you. History is afoot. This night smells like no other ever has or ever quite will. So don't hold your nose when you walk past me, girlfriend. I just martyred myself to give everyone on this plane an amusing party story. So you better thank your lucky stars. All 600 billion of them. Lucky you. Lucky me.